Hello fellas cinephiles, Film Guru here. For those who are new to the channel, my name's Sean, also known as Film Guru, and I started this channel over my same particular movies and a variety of other film content, so thanks for joining me today. For the other subscribers, sorry it's taken me so long to do a video. There just hasn't been any movies I really want to talk about. I'm finding it harder and harder to have things to talk about with these new particular movies coming out. Today I'm reviewing Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery. This was once again directed by Rian Johnson and stars Daniel Craig, Jessica Whittick, Kate Hudson, Edward Norton, Dave Bautista, Catherine Hahn, Janelle Monáe, and a variety of others. The film looks at tech billionaire Miles Bron, played by Edward Norton, who invites his friends for a getaway on his private Greek island. When someone turns up dead, Detective Benoit Blanc is put on the case. As I've said before in other videos, I'm a huge Rian Johnson fan. I think he's a brilliant filmmaker, and I like the films he's able to craft and create, and this is a great example of it. It's his first sequel that he's ever done to any of his movies, and like the rest of his films, it's very different. It's not like the first film. The first one filmed for like a solid mystery that was well written, put together, and it felt like his early film, Brick. And it was more of an Agatha Christie type mystery than anything else, but with his original twist on it. Where this plays out more like the board game Clue than it does an Agatha Christie story. You've got all these group of people in a small space, and any one of them could be the killer. You're not quite sure who's who or what's really going on. And it offers you a lot of clues to try and work out as Blanc works out himself. And I really liked that. I thought that was a really great and interesting way to go. I love that it's set on an isolated island. I like that they look at COVID in a way that sort of limits the characters from going anywhere else but this particular island. I thought that was really clever. That's the best use I've seen of COVID so far. I thought it was great. Like I said, I like the isolated island they're on where they can't escape. And I like that it's sort of set in this really odd house with this giant glass onion atop of it. And it's really tech building in his house, and there's some really interesting, colourful things in it, which I really loved. There is a lot of humour in this, much more humour than there was in the first film, and it's sort of, it plays more like a comedy than anything, and I really liked that. I thought it was good and different. I thought all the acting was solid from everybody. The real standouts for me is Dave Bautista playing Duke Cody, a YouTuber, and I really like what he does. He's always got a gun with him. There's a variety of things that he really does is kind of funny, and the relationship between him and his mother is really great and adds a lot of humour in the beginning of the film. I thought Kate Hudson was great. She played a character that wasn't quite, you know, she said what she thought, but it wasn't quite well thought out what she said. It was just, she had a thought and she'd say it. And she's kind of funny and interesting character. And like a friend mentioned to me, it kind of reminds me of her mother, Goldie Hawn. It's kind of a role that she would have played, and played like she did, like her daughter. Edward Norton was great as usual. He's a solid actor and does a solid job as Miles Bron. Catherine Hahn's another one who's really good. She's played a lot of unique and interesting characters in this, and Claire DeBelle is a really interesting character she would provide. But the performances I really liked the most were from Daniel Craig, who seemed like he was having fun playing Blanc here, and they sort of changed his character a little bit, and he felt like he was having more fun, and I don't know, he just felt like a little different character but still the same. It just felt a bit lighter for his character. I thought he was really, really great in it. And Janelle Monáe, I think, is great here. She has an important part to play in the film, and she gets to play things in a different way, and I like that. And she's like a kind of a driving force a little bit for the film, which I really loved. And I like the relationship between her character and Daniel Craig's character. Blanc is used differently here than in the previous film. He serves a purpose, but it's a little different to what we saw in the first film, and I liked that. I thought that was sort of different, and it took the film in a different direction. There's something that happens in the film about halfway through. Kind of a twist, kind of something different. I didn't really see coming. Usually I can see these things, but I didn't see it coming, which I thought was clever on Rian Johnson's part to create the mystery of that. But this sort of shapes the film, and it shows the film from a different perspective. And I really liked that. It sort of re-showed scenes we'd seen from one point of view and showed them in a different point of view. Show the different contexts and stuff that these scenes did have when we see them from the other side. But once the film gets going, there's a lot of twists and turns. These characters pretend to be friends, but there's some awkwardness or strangeness between them. And it sort of leads to quite a shocking ending that's kind of really well done though. That was one of my favourite scenes, the ending actually, the lead up to it. There's a sequence in it where everybody's standing in this particular room, the lights go out, and there's a lot of screaming going on. I really like this scene because you're not quite sure what's going to happen. And it's sort of about how the characters scatter through the house, trying to protect themselves and trying to work out what's really going on. I like the reintroduction of Blanc, where you see him in an interesting way, and I like that. And they add a bit more to his character than we had seen previously. And there's scenes that, when we see it from one point of view, Daniel Craig's character Blanc is he seems very straight and stern and knows exactly what's going on. But then when you see it from the other point of view, he's not quite as sure of himself as he seems, and I like that. It kept changing, and it'd go in a direction you expect, and like Rian Johnson usually does, it'd veer off to somewhere else. And that's what makes him a really refreshing and interesting director these days, because he's not scared to take something and do something different. I've loved all of his films. Yes, even Last Jedi. I think what he's done with his films and the filmography he's had has been brilliant. I think he's a true master of the craft, and he's able to do different genres in really great ways, and I love what he's able to accomplish and what he does with this film. This is definitely one of the better films I've seen this year. I haven't had the greatest run, but this is definitely really interesting. It's a film I want to return to now that I know what has transpired in the movie. I want to return to it and look at it from a different point of view. And that's what you can do with his movies, and I think that's really great and a testament to him as a filmmaker. Final thoughts. Really, this is a film about relationships and people telling the truth and trying to get to the truth, and how superficial we can seem on the outside, but have so much more going on the inside. And it really shows how far people can go just to get what they want. I'm going to give Glass Onion 4 out of 5. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was a really entertaining film and well done, very humorous, and I really liked it as a sequel to Knives Out. And it's definitely a film that you should really check out if you enjoyed the first one. Anyway, that's all from me. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review, and if you did, please subscribe down the bottom, follow me on Letterboxd and Facebook. Otherwise, until next time, enjoy the movies.